Hi guys, Mike Ely asked me to make this training for you guys. My name is Wen, and I am one of Mike Ely's partner, and I assist him with helping our students succeed, and learn more about apartment investing and hotel investing as well. But my specialty is really more apartment investing. So, the first video or the first series of training is about how to get started investing in apartments. So this video is part one. And today we're going to talk about step one to buying your first apartment deal. And the step one to doing that is to get educated first. It's very crucial that you get educated because one mistake with apartment investing can literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So you want the first deal, not necessarily to be a home run, but something that will put money in your pocket month in and month out, right? And the key is to get educated on how to find, underwrite, and fund deals, right? Those are the three crucial things that you need to have in order to succeed with this, right? Because if you think about it, if you don't know how to find deals, it doesn't matter if you know how to underwrite them, meaning analyze them and fund them, you won't get a deal. Or if you know how to find and underwrite them, but you don't know how to fund them either, right? Then uh, you cannot buy them because you don't know how to fund them, right? So you need to get educated on at least these three things, and you get educated through a variety of forms, right? You can get educated through books, webinars, seminars, online networking groups, YouTube, right? You can watch YouTube videos, you can read blogs about it, right? But so with online networking groups or networking groups in general, you can learn by talking to people, right? You can ask people to show you what they're doing, for example, right? So education is not just sitting in front of your computer or sitting in front of, like in a class in order to learn, because people, different people learn differently, right? So you got to identify your learning mode, and definitely learn based on the learning mode that you're best at. Some people learn better by hearing things, so podcast would be better for you. Some people learn better by talking to people. Some people learn better by reading books or by reading so blogs, articles, you know definitely reading books will be good. Now, talking about books, okay? So, Mike Ely, as you know, or probably, for some of you don't know, wrote a book From Broke to Millions, and this is a very good book. It teaches you not just his life story, but also, the how to, okay? And, the basics of apartment investing, all right? So, it's crucial, again, that you know the basics, so that you know exactly what to do, and then you really don't know everything, just by reading a book. You might need to read several books, okay? You might need to read the book and listen to, a podcast or several podcasts and so on. But you always have to be in this mode of learning as much as you can, right? I mean, think about this, right? So if you have like one opportunity, let's say you have $1 million, right? But you have to, uh, you know, it's not, I mean, for some of you, $1 million is like a lot of money, right? But it's not really unlimited capital, right? With apartment buildings, we're talking about, spending millions of dollars buying these things, right? So, or buying these buildings. So $1 million is really not a lot of money, right? So, but let's say, someone put a gun in your head and say, hey, here's $1 million, grow it to 2 million or whatever, in 5 years or else you'll die, right? So let's just exaggerate here a little bit, right? So what will you do, right? You will not be like, just call a broker and find an apartment deal for sale, right? You got to learn everything you need to know in order to ensure that you succeed and double his money. Otherwise, he'll blow your brains out, right? So that's the important thing, right? You need to treat this as that important, as if your life depends on it, because, it might just be, right? Because again, if you make a mistake, you know, you might lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So treat this seriously, you know, because if you don't, if you treat this as a hobby, you won't get any results, or if you do, you'll make costly mistakes. So that's why invest in your education and do whatever you need to do in order to be sure that you have the you know, to get the education, right? But the balance is you gotta take action with what you're learning, right? You cannot be a seminar junkie where you attend all the seminars from all these different real estate gurus and did not implement a single thing, right? Don't fall into that trap. Okay, so um, now this video is part one. Okay, uh, you know, it's open to the public. You know, it's but part two is for apartment investing secrets group members only. So, and this apartment investing secrets is a Facebook community of over, like, as the time that I'm doing this recording, over 2,000 members now, and it's free, right? So all you have to do is go to Facebook and type in apartment investing secrets, and then voila, right? Join, you know, then now you will see part two of this video. All right. So to know the basics, you need to ask these questions, or you need answers to these questions, right? So first is, how do you make money, you know, with apartment investing? You know, in Mike Ellis' book, From Broke to Millions, on chapter 8, he talks, you know, he talks about the three different ways to make money with apartments. Okay? It's not just buying an apartment and then you get the cash flow, right? Or you collect the rent. You know, it's, you know, more, it's more a little bit more complicated than that, and you need to know and decide which strategy is right for you based on your circumstances, based on your resources, and based on your skill set, you know, so that you will maximize the profit, right? And you meet your investment goals. Second, you need to know, what does it take to succeed, right? What are the steps that you need to take? Step one, two, three, four, five, right? Depending on your, again, your circumstances. Because for example, if you have money to invest but you don't have the time, you know, then, you know, what does it take for you to succeed will be different from someone with, they have money, they have great, you know, they have money as well, you know, and but they don't have great credit, for example, or someone with no money at all, but they have the time and they have great credit, versus someone who have only the money but have, I mean, only the time but no money and bad credit, right? So, right? So, and no money as well. So no money, no credit, but only the time will invest differently versus someone with money but no time, you know, versus someone with a little bit of money but great credit and time, right? So and I believe in the last, you know, one of the last chapters in Mike Ellis' book, he talks about, you know, like what are, you know, he calls it the investment blueprints. All right. And then what resources do you need to line up or get in order to succeed, right? So again, if you have money but you don't have good credit, you know, and you don't have the time, right? Then there are different things that you need to do to line up. Again, depending on your circumstances in order to succeed with this, because you know there is no such thing as something for nothing, right? A lot of people attempted that, but you know it always fails 100%, right? Because there's always something that you need to put up in order to get what you want. It may not necessarily be money, it can be your time and effort, right? So, therefore, regardless of your circumstances, you need to know the basics, right? And then, what are the risks? You need to be aware of the risk, right? Because if not, you'll make a mistake. You know the risk happens, and boom, you lose money. Your money is stuck in the deal, so you lose time, which is even more precious than money, right? And then what are the challenges, right? You know, you have to take this head on, right? You cannot be like, oh, you know, maybe the tenants will pay, right? So, you know, yes, they're behind 3 months, and you expect them to get all the money to pay, right? It might happen, but it might not happen. Most likely, it will not happen. Okay, so there are challenges in this, you know, apartment investing, right? It's not a walk in the park, right? Because if it's too easy, then everybody will be doing it. So you got to be aware of the challenges. So in order to know the basics, again, you need to ask or have answers to these questions, right? So that you know exactly what you're doing and you don't make costly mistakes, and you don't lose valuable opportunities at the same time. So that's part one. And again, for the members of Apartment Investing Secrets, the Facebook community that Mike started with, now with over 2,000 members. I will show you part two of this video, how to get started investing in apartments. And with that, I will see you in part two.